What's going on, everybody? Chase with iDub Hockey, joined today with Jordan from True Hockey here at your headquarters in Memphis, Tennessee. We have the brand new HZRDUS 9X4 as well as the Catalyst 9X3 in front of us. And I really want to talk about the difference in style of play and even some key technology that differentiate the two. So before we hop into each individual one, how would you describe just the differences in flex profile and style of shooter?
So the HZRDUS is going to be our low kick offering. So that's more for the in-tight, fast-paced shooter. That's trying to get that puck off the stick as fast as possible. The Catalyst, we designed to be an easier to load mid-kick, so trying to bridge the gap, but really focusing on those shooters that are shooting from outside, maybe perimeter shots, and really getting the most velocity and control out of their shots.
So realistically, just the quickest release possible and then the maximum shot power out of it.
Exactly.
Now, in terms of pro players, is there a true athlete you can maybe name that kind of exemplifies what it means to be a HZRDUS or a Catalyst player?
Yeah. So Mitch Marner, for example, he's gonna use our low kick HZRDUS line. More often than not, he's gonna be in there making passes, stuff in tight, versus maybe like our Brady Tkachuk, who's a bigger, probably stronger player, who needs a little more oomph in his stick to get those powerful shots off.
Well, let's hop into the HZRDUS 9X4. This is the new stick coming out this year. We have some very unique technologies that really help to, again, accentuate that quick release. So what are a couple standout features that we find here?
Yeah, so I'll start here in the blade. So new for HZRDUS this year, we're gonna have our SRT4 blade construction, which is gonna consist of 4 strategically placed ribs throughout the blade. We also introduce a PMI foam, which is a foam that expands much stronger than the previous foam we used in HZRDUS. So that helps with our consolidation of our laminate structure, increasing the strength and overall longevity in that blade. Again, just like maximizing that stiffness. So one of the big differences between Catalyst and HZRDUS is that blade stiffness. So our HZRDUS blade stiffness is gonna be higher, more rigid, versus our Catalyst, which is gonna have a softer feeling blade.
That's for, like you mentioned, being in tight near the goal, maybe that quick snapshot, giving you a little extra pop too.
Exactly. We're on like our 3rd version of ResFlow. So ResFlow was actually introduced in the original HZRDUS PX and 9X from 2022. And we've just gotten better over the years, right? So we had the same technology in 9X3. Advancements in materials and processes allow us to just keep driving that weight down and increasing our strength and durability. So something that we're really boasting here is through our play tests and our bench strength numbers in the lab have gone up 25–30% pretty much across the board throughout this stick. The new ResFlow technology is really where this stick's gonna shine.
As we look at the 9X3, one of the lightest mid-kick sticks on the market, which is so impressive to do because typically, I'm assuming here, you're the expert, but we need more material to generate that mid-kick point, right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
So you mentioned this also has ResFlow, but what are a couple other those key technologies that really help to shed that weight on this 9X3?
ResFlow is probably the biggest enhancement from the previous Catalyst, which was our previous mid-kick. So I learned a ton, like I said, over the years, and just finding new materials, using lighter weight materials, more layers, we can get that impact and bend strength up while driving that weight down, which really helps for just the maneuverability, the control, and that shot velocity performance.
And then last but not least, let's talk about the blade too. So I'm assuming it has a similar construction to what we see in the 9X4. You mentioned it's a little bit softer, so you're getting better puck contact time for those big shots. But just in terms of the overall construction, what would be a brief overview you'd find?
Yeah, exactly. So both of these blades actually have the same rib structure, or shape, I should say. They'll use different materials in different places with different stiffnesses, but the overall shape of the rib actually comes down the blade and then extends into that toe, which keeps that toe from opening up on powerful shots. So they both have that, but then, like I said, playing around with different fibers and fiber angles, we have tailored this to be a softer feeling blade.
And then just one more question for the gear nerds out here. You mentioned it's more so the fibers that differentiate the feel in terms of that more dampened feel compared to the stiff feel. It's not really the foam construction or the foam makeup?
Correct. So we actually use the exact same foam core material, but for these two sticks.
That's very cool, very cool. Well, I've got to say, Jordan, thank you so much for having us out here and walking us through the Catalyst and the HZRDUS lines.
Absolutely, Chase.
And for you at home that want to check out the entire collection of True Hockey sticks, make sure you head over to icewarehouse.com.